In the bustling streets of Chicago, where the wind whipped through the skyscrapers like whispers of forgotten secrets, Chris Thompson stood frozen on the sidewalk, his heart pounding as he watched his best friend, Jamie Rivera, lean in to kiss another man under the glow of a street lamp. It was a moment that shattered Chris's world, not because of jealousy, but because it ignited a fire within him he had long suppressed. A realization that his own feelings for Jamie ran deeper than friendship. As the couple parted ways, Jamie turned and caught Chris's eye, his smile fading into confusion, setting off a chain of events that would force Chris to confront the truths he had buried under layers of societal expectations and family pressures. Chris had always been the picture of Midwestern normalcy. A 28-year-old accountant at a mid-sized firm, living in a modest apartment in Wrigleyville, with a routine that included Sunday dinners at his parents' house in the suburbs. His father, a retired police officer, preached traditional values with the fervor of a man who had seen too much change in his lifetime, while his mother, a schoolteacher, clung to the hope that Chris would one day bring home a nice girl and settle down. Jamie, on the other hand, was the vibrant contrast, a 27-year-old graphic designer from a more progressive Puerto Rican family that had moved to the city when he was a teen. They had met in college, bonding over late-night study sessions and shared dreams of escaping the mundane. But Chris had always kept his admiration for Jamie platonic, or so he told himself. That night, after witnessing the kiss, Chris couldn't sleep. He paced his apartment, replaying memories. The way Jamie's laugh lit up a room, the late-night conversations where Jamie shared his struggles with coming out to his extended family, and the subtle touches that now seemed charged with unspoken meaning. By morning, Chris decided he couldn't ignore it anymore. He texted Jamie to meet for coffee at their usual spot, a cozy cafe near Millennium Park. As they sat across from each other, steam rising from their mugs, Chris's hands trembled. "I saw you last night," he blurted out, his voice barely above a whisper. Jamie's eyes widened, then softened with understanding. "Chris, I didn't know how to tell you. I've been seeing someone, but it's not serious. Why does it bother you so much?" The question hung in the air like a challenge. Chris hesitated, his mind racing through the potential fallout. His father's disapproval, the whispers at work, the loss of the life he knew. But in that moment, looking into Jamie's warm brown eyes, he felt a pull stronger than fear. "Because I think I'm in love with you," he confessed, the words tumbling out like a dam breaking. Jamie stared, shock giving way to a tentative smile. "Chris, I felt the same for years, but I thought you were straight. This changes everything." They talked for hours, the initial awkwardness melting into shared vulnerability. Jamie admitted he had dated others to distract from his unrequited feelings, while Chris revealed the internal battles he fought against his own identity, shaped by a childhood where different was synonymous with wrong. As their conversation deepened, the first seeds of conflict sprouted. Jamie, who had come out in college and faced his share of rejection from conservative relatives, urged Chris to embrace his truth openly. "You can't hide forever, Chris. It's exhausting." But Chris recoiled at the idea. "My family, they'd never understand. Dad still rants about those people ruining the country." The tension escalated when Jamie suggested they go on a real date, something public. Chris agreed reluctantly, but as they walked through the park later that week, holding hands tentatively, he couldn't shake the paranoia of being seen. A passerby glanced their way, and Chris pulled back, his face flushing with shame. Jamie's hurt was palpable. "If we're going to do this, you have to be all in," he said softly, but the words carried an undercurrent of ultimatum. Word count crept into their budding romance like an uninvited guest. Chris's sister, Emily, noticed his distraction during a family barbecue. "Who's the girl?" she teased. But Chris's evasive answers only fueled her curiosity. Meanwhile, at work, a colleague made an offhand joke about a gay pride event, and Chris's laughter felt forced, a mask slipping. Jamie, sensing Chris's hesitation, shared stories of his own past heartbreaks. A high school crush that ended in bullying, a college relationship shattered by infidelity born from insecurity. These tales bonded them, but also highlighted the chasm. Jamie had fought for his authenticity, while Chris was still cowering in the shadows. Their first major clash came during a weekend getaway to a cabin in Wisconsin Dells, meant to be a romantic escape. Amid the serene lakes and whispering pines, they shared kisses and dreams under the stars. But reality intruded when Chris's phone buzzed with a call from his father. "Son, your mom and I are worried. You've been distant. Everything okay?" Chris lied smoothly, claiming work stress, but Jamie overheard and confronted him. "Why not tell them about us? About you?" The argument exploded, voices echoing off the wooden walls. Chris accused Jamie of pushing too hard, while Jamie retorted that hiding their love was a betrayal. "If you love me, prove it," Jamie said, tears in his eyes. Chris stormed out, driving aimlessly, his mind a whirlwind of fear and longing. By dawn, he returned, apologizing, but the rift lingered, a crack in their foundation. Back in Chicago, societal pressures mounted. Jamie invited Chris to a LGBTQ+ community event, a fundraiser at a local bar. Chris went, but the vibrant crowd overwhelmed him. Drag performers, activists sharing stories of discrimination, couples openly affectionate. He felt exposed like a fraud among the brave. When a friend of Jamie's asked how they met, Chris mumbled something vague, avoiding the label boyfriend. Jamie's disappointment was a silent storm. Later, in private, he expressed his frustration. "I need a partner who's proud, not ashamed." Chris promised to try, but doubt gnawed at him. As weeks turned to months, their relationship deepened emotionally, with late nights discussing futures. Dreams of travel, perhaps adoption someday. But external conflicts intensified. Chris's father, suspecting something, grilled him during a family dinner about his single status. "You're not one of those liberals turning queer, are you?" The casual bigotry stung, forcing Chris to deflect with humor. Jamie, hearing about it, encouraged therapy, but Chris resisted, fearing it would make his struggles official. A turning point came when Jamie's ex, a charismatic artist named Miguel, reappeared, inviting Jamie to an art show. Jealousy flared in Chris, leading to their first jealous spat. "You think I want him back? This is about trust, Chris, and you don't trust yourself enough to let me in fully." The argument revealed Chris's deepest fear, losing Jamie to someone more out and proud. They reconciled with promises of patience, but the incident planted seeds of insecurity. By the end of this initial phase, Chris began small steps toward acceptance, like confiding in Emily, who surprisingly supported him. "Love is love. Bro dad will come around." Emboldened, Chris planned to introduce Jamie to her, a tentative bridge to his world. Yet, as they navigated these waters, the undercurrents of societal judgment, from workplace whispers to family expectations, threatened to pull them under. Their love was a fragile bloom in a garden of thorns, and the real tests were just beginning. In the heart of Chicago's vibrant summer, where festivals pulsed with life and the lake shimmered like a promise, Chris and Jamie's relationship faced its first true tempest. Emily's acceptance had given Chris a glimmer of hope, but introducing Jamie to her at a casual lunch turned into a revelation. As they sat in a bustling diner, Jamie's easy charm won Emily over instantly. "You're good for him," she whispered to Jamie when Chris stepped away. But her warning followed. "Dad's old school. Be careful." That caution proved prophetic when, days later, Chris's father overheard Emily on the phone mentioning Chris's new friend, a guy. The confrontation was swift and brutal, bursting into Chris's apartment unannounced. His father, red-faced and bellowing, demanded answers. "Is it true? Are you gay?" The word spat out like venom. Chris, caught off guard with Jamie present, froze. Jamie stepped forward protectively, but Chris pushed him back, stammering denials. "It's not like that, Dad. We're just friends." The lie hung heavy, wounding Jamie deeply. As his father stormed out, muttering about disappointment and family shame, Jamie turned to Chris with eyes full of betrayal. "Just friends? After everything?" The fight that ensued was raw, emotions spilling like blood from old wounds. Chris defended his panic, citing fear of disownment, while Jamie accused him of cowardice. "I came out to my family years ago, faced the rejection, and survived. You can't keep using fear as an excuse. The rift widened, leading to a week of silence. Chris threw himself into work, burying guilt under spreadsheets, but memories haunted him. Jamie's gentle touch, the way he made Chris feel seen. Meanwhile, Jamie confided in his own family, his mother offering sage advice. Love requires sacrifice from both sides. Reconnecting at a neutral coffee shop, they hashed out boundaries. Chris promised transparency, starting with therapy. His first session was eye-opening, the counselor helping him unpack years of internalized homophobia from a conservative upbringing. "Society tells us who to love," she said, "but your heart knows better." As Chris grew, external conflicts escalated. At work, a promotion opportunity arose, but rumors swirled after a coworker spotted him with Jamie at a Pride Parade preview event. The office, a mix of progressive millennials and older traditionalists, became a minefield. A senior partner made a snide comment during a meeting, "We need family men in leadership stable, you know?" Chris felt the sting, wondering if his secret was out. He confided in Jamie, who encouraged standing firm. "Discrimination is illegal, Chris. Fight for us." But Chris hesitated, fearing backlash. Social tensions peaked at a neighborhood block party, where Jamie's openness clashed with Chris's caution. Mingling with friends, Jamie introduced Chris as his boyfriend, eliciting mixed reactions. Supportive nods from some, awkward silences from others. An older neighbor, a vocal conservative, cornered Chris later. "This lifestyle choice, it's against nature. Think about the kids in the community." The words echoed his father's sentiments, igniting a defensive rage in Chris. For the first time, he pushed back. "Love isn't a choice. It's who I am." Jamie, overhearing, beamed with pride. But the encounter left Chris shaken, questioning if their relationship could survive such scrutiny. Amid these storms, moments of tenderness anchored them. A quiet evening cooking dinner together, sharing stories of childhood dreams. Chris wanting to be an astronaut, Jamie an artist, reminded them of their connection. Yet, controversy brewed when Jamie's activism drew them into a local debate. A proposed bill in Illinois aimed to protect LGBTQ+ rights in schools, but it sparked protests. Jamie volunteered at a rally, urging Chris to join. Reluctant at first, Chris attended, holding a sign that read "Equality for All." The experience was empowering, but when photos surfaced on social media, his father saw them, leading to a heated phone call. "You're throwing your life away for this fad." Chris, bolstered by therapy, responded calmly, "It's not a fad, Dad. It's me." The call ended in stalemate, but it marked Chris's growing resolve. Jealousy resurfaced when Miguel, Jamie's ex, invited them to his gallery opening. There, Miguel flirted subtly with Jamie, praising his designs. Chris's insecurity boiled over in the car ride home. "He still wants you," Jamie reassured him, but admitted past temptations during their separation. "I chose you, Chris, but you need to choose us fully." The vulnerability strengthened their bond, leading to discussions about commitment, rings perhaps, or cohabitation. Family dynamics shifted when Chris's mother, sensing the tension, reached out privately. "I love you no matter what," she confided, revealing she had suspected for years. Her quiet support contrasted his father's silence, creating a family divide. Jamie's family, in turn, welcomed Chris warmly at a barbecue, their acceptance a bomb. But cultural clashes emerged. Jamie's relatives debated immigration and identity, mirroring broader societal issues, while Chris navigated questions about his whiteness in a diverse circle. As autumn leaves fell, their love matured amid trials. A workplace incident tested Chris. A homophobic joke from a colleague prompted him to report it, risking his promotion. The HR investigation vindicated him, but whispers lingered. Jamie praised his courage. "You're becoming the man I always saw." Yet, a lingering doubt persisted. Could Chris fully integrate his worlds without breaking? The phase culminated in a heartfelt proposal from Jamie during a lakeside walk. Not marriage, but a promise ring, symbolizing commitment. Chris accepted tearfully, But as they embraced, a jogger's disapproving glare reminded them of the world's gaze. Their journey was far from over, with deeper conflicts looming on the horizon. Winter's chill gripped Chicago, mirroring the frost settling over Chris and Jamie's relationship as external pressures intensified. Chris's promotion came through, but at a cost: subtle isolation from some colleagues who viewed his newfound openness with suspicion. "He's changed," one whispered, fueling Chris's paranoia. Jamie, thriving in his design career, landed a big client, but the success highlighted their differing paces. Jamie fully out, Chris still tiptoeing. A major conflict erupted during the holidays. Chris invited Jamie to Christmas dinner, a bold step. His mother welcomed Jamie warmly, but his father remained gruff, making pointed remarks about traditional families. When Emily's boyfriend proposed during dessert, the joy turned sour as the father toasted real love. Jamie excused himself, hurt, and Chris followed, apologizing profusely. "Your dad hates me," Jamie said, voice cracking. The drive home was silent, culminating in an argument. "I can't keep pretending for your family." Chris pleaded for time, but Jamie's patience waned. Time? Or excuses? The strain led to a brief separation, Jamie staying with a friend. Chris, alone, delved deeper into therapy, confronting childhood memories. A bully calling him sissy. His father's lectures on masculinity. Reconnecting after New Year's, they vowed communication, but scars remained. Societal debates amplified their struggles. A Supreme Court case on LGBTQ+ rights dominated news, polarizing friends. At a dinner party, a guest argued against gay adoption, claiming kids need a mom and dad. Chris, emboldened, debated passionately. Love makes a family, not gender. Jamie squeezed his hand under the table, a silent affirmation. Workplace drama escalated when Chris's boss, a closeted gay man, confided in him, "I hid for years. Don't make my mistakes." Inspired, Chris organized a diversity workshop, but backlash from conservative staff labeled it woke propaganda. A petition circulated, questioning his leadership. Jamie supported him fiercely, attending the event, but the stress manifested in Chris's anxiety attacks. "Is this worth it?" he wondered aloud one night. Jamie's response: "Us? Absolutely." Cultural clashes deepened with Jamie's family. During a visit to Puerto Rico for a cousin's wedding, Chris felt like an outsider amid vibrant traditions and Spanish chatter. Jamie's uncle, a devout Catholic, questioned their relationship subtly. "The church teaches." Jamie defended them, but the tension lingered. Back home, Chris grappled with his privilege, realizing Jamie faced intersectional discrimination as a gay Latino man. "I deal with racism on top of homophobia," Jamie shared, opening Chris's eyes to broader injustices. A controversial twist came when Chris's ex-girlfriend from college, Sarah, reappeared, now an ally advocating for LGBTQ+ causes. She invited them to a panel discussion on bisexuality, assuming Chris's journey. There, misconceptions arose. An audience member claimed gays are born that way, but bi is a phase. Chris, identifying as gay but with past heterosexual experiences, felt invalidated. Jamie comforted him, but Sarah's flirtatious nostalgia sparked Jamie's jealousy. "Old flames?" he teased, but underlying insecurity surfaced. They argued about pasts. Jamie admitting a brief fling during their separation, Chris confessing emotional unavailability in straight relationships. The honesty purged toxins, strengthening trust. Family reconciliation attempts faltered. Chris's father suffered a minor heart scare, prompting a hospital visit. In the sterile room, emotions boiled. "I don't understand your choices, son, but I don't want to lose you." It was a crack in the armor, but no full acceptance. Jamie encouraged patience. Hearts change slowly. Meanwhile, Jamie's activism led to a protest against anti-LGBTQ+ legislation, where they faced counter-protesters shouting slurs. A near-violent encounter left them shaken, huddled together in solidarity. As spring approached, their bond evolved. They moved in together, a cozy loft in Lincoln Park symbolizing commitment. Decorating became therapy, blending Chris's minimalist style with Jamie's colorful art. But cohabitation revealed quirks, Chris's neatness clashing with Jamie's chaos, leading to lighthearted spats resolved with laughter. Deeper issues emerged in discussions about future marriage, kids. Chris worried about legal hurdles and societal stigma, while Jamie dreamed boldly. "We'll fight for it," he said. A pivotal moment arrived at a charity gala for LGBTQ+ youth. Chris, as MC, shared his story publicly for the first time. "I hid my love out of fear, but love deserves light." The applause was thunderous, Jamie's proud gaze his anchor. Post-event, media coverage sparked controversy. A conservative blog labeled him agenda pusher, drawing online trolls. Chris's father read it, calling angrily, "You're embarrassing the family." The fallout tested Chris's resolve, but support from Emily and Jamie's family bolstered him. The phase closed with a romantic weekend in Michigan's dunes, where they renewed promises under starry skies. Yet, as waves crashed, Chris pondered the ongoing battles. Their love, once hidden, now bloomed defiantly, but the world's resistance promised more storms ahead. With summer's heat wave enveloping Chicago, Chris and Jamie's relationship reached boiling point, societal and personal conflicts converging in a maelstrom of drama. Their cohabitation, initially blissful, exposed vulnerabilities. Chris's late nights at work, driven by promotion pressures, left Jamie feeling neglected. "You're hiding in your job again," Jamie accused during a heated dinner. Chris countered, "I'm building a future for us." The spat escalated, revealing deeper fears. Chris of failure, Jamie of abandonment. External controversies amplified tensions. A local scandal erupted when a prominent politician, a family friend of Chris's father, was outed in a tabloid affair. The media frenzy divided opinions. Progressives celebrated exposure of hypocrisy. Conservatives decried privacy invasion. At a bar debate with friends, Chris defended the outed man. "No one should be forced out." Jamie disagreed. "Hypocrites hurt our community." The disagreement spilled home, questioning their values. "Are we even on the same side?" Jamie wondered aloud. Workplace intrigue peaked when Chris discovered embezzlement by a homophobic colleague, the same one behind the petition. Reporting it anonymously, he faced retaliation, sabotaged projects, whispers of unreliability. His boss, now an ally, investigated, but the stress triggered Chris's doubts. "Maybe I should quit," he confided in Jamie, who urged perseverance. "Don't let bigots win." The resolution came with the colleague's firing, but Chris's reputation took a hit, fueling imposter syndrome. Family dynamics shifted dramatically. Chris's mother, emboldened by her son's courage, confronted his father. "Our boy deserves happiness." The argument revealed the father's own buried regrets. A lost friendship with a gay colleague. Softening slightly, he invited Chris for a one-on-one talk. Over beers in the garage, tears flowed. "I was raised to believe certain things, but seeing you suffer, I don't know." It wasn't acceptance, but a truce, allowing Jamie a tentative invite to Easter brunch. There, awkward pleasantries masked undercurrents, but Jamie's charm chipped away at prejudices. Cultural intersections brought new challenges. Jamie's involvement in a Latinx LGBTQ+ group highlighted disparities. Events addressing machismo in Hispanic communities, where Chris felt out of place. "I want you to understand my world," Jamie said, leading to Chris volunteering, learning about microaggressions. A workshop on intersectionality opened his eyes. "I've been blind to your struggles." Yet, a heated panel on assimilation versus pride sparked debate. Chris advocating integration, Jamie cultural preservation. Their post-event discussion turned intimate, reinforcing unity. Jealousy and temptation tested fidelity. At a design conference, Jamie networked with a charismatic mentor, sparks flying innocently. Photos online fueled Chris's insecurity, leading to accusations. Emotional cheating? Jamie denied, but admitted admiration. "You're my heart, Chris." Conversely, Sarah reappeared, offering Chris a job at her advocacy firm. Her persistence felt flirtatious, prompting Jamie's confrontation. Old habits. They navigated with couples therapy, uncovering patterns, Chris's avoidance, Jamie's possessiveness. A major societal clash occurred during Pride Month. They marched together, flags waving, but a violent counter-protest erupted, police intervening. Jamie was grazed by a thrown object, minor but terrifying. In the ER, Chris's fear crystallized. "I can't lose you." The incident galvanized them, Jamie writing an op-ed on hate crimes, Chris co-authoring. Published in a local paper, it drew praise and backlash. Threatening emails, supportive calls. Chris's father read it, calling, "Proud of you, son, for standing up." A breakthrough moment. As conflicts mounted, their love deepened through choices. Discussing adoption, they attended seminars, facing biases. Two dads? Kids need balance. Defying doubters, they began paperwork, a commitment symbol. But controversy arose when Chris's workplace learned. A client pulling out citing values mismatch. The loss stung, but Jamie's support, "We'll find better." The phase's climax came at a family wedding, Emily's. Chris as best man, Jamie as +1. Tensions simmered. Relatives gossiping, father avoiding. During toasts, Chris subtly acknowledged Jamie. "Love finds us when we're ready." Applause mixed with murmurs, but the father's nod was progress. Post-wedding, a drunk uncle spewed slurs, prompting Chris's defense. "Enough!" Jamie's family. The stand solidified his growth. As autumn hues painted the city, their resilience shone. Trials had forged stronger bonds, but unresolved threads, full family acceptance, career stability, hinted at impending reckonings. Their story, a tapestry of love amid adversity, neared its zenith. In the fading light of Chicago's autumn, Chris and Jamie's love story hurtled toward its dramatic crescendo, where choices would define destinies amid swirling societal storms. The adoption process, once a dream, became a battleground. A home study revealed biases, the evaluator questioning their stability due to recent conflicts. "Society's not fully ready," she noted. Jamie raged against the system, while Chris advocated patience, their differing approaches straining unity. "We're proving them wrong," Jamie insisted, leading to advocacy work, petitioning for inclusive policies. Career crossroads loomed. Chris's firm faced a merger with a conservative company, rumors of cultural fit audits. Fearing outing, Chris considered resigning, but Jamie encouraged resistance. Sue if needed. Instead, Chris negotiated inclusivity clauses, earning respect but enemies. Jamie's career soared with a solo exhibit, themes of queer latinx identity drawing crowds, and controversy. A reviewer called it provocative propaganda, sparking online debates. Trolls targeted them, doxing addresses. In fear, they installed security, huddling closer. Us against the world. Family reckonings peaked. Chris's father, post-heart scare, sought therapy, admitting fears rooted in his era's ignorance. A pivotal dinner. "I may not understand, but I see your happiness." Jamie extended an olive branch, sharing his story. Tears flowed, forging tentative bonds. Yet, Chris's extended family resisted, cousins unfriending on social media, citing moral differences. Jamie's side faced internal strife, an aunt disinviting them from a Quincean era over influence on kids. The rejections fueled arguments. Chris blaming Jamie's activism, Jamie accusing Chris of complacency. A shocking twist. Miguel returned, offering Jamie a partnership in New York. The temptation, professional growth, escape from Chicago's pressures, shook Jamie. "It's just an offer," he said, but Chris sensed wavering. Jealousy ignited their fiercest fight. "Go if you want glamour over us." Jamie confessed doubts. "Sometimes I wonder if you're fully committed." Therapy unearthed truths. Chris's lingering shame. Jamie's burnout from carrying emotional weight. Reconciliation came through vulnerability. Chris proposing formally on a rooftop, ring in hand. "Marry me, despite everything." Jamie accepted, tears mingling with joy. Societal backlash intensified post-engagement. Announcing on social media, they faced hate, death threats, boycotts of Jamie's art. But allies rallied, Emily organizing a celebration, co-workers defending. A local news interview amplified their voices. Love wins through perseverance. The exposure drew a lawsuit threat from a hate group, claiming promotion of deviance. Defended pro bono by Sarah's firm, they won, but exhaustion set in. Personal growth shown amid chaos. Chris mentored a young gay intern, paying forward support. Jamie curated a community art project on resilience, including Chris's input. Their wedding planning, intimate, lakeside, symbolized hope, but debates arose. Invite disapproving relatives? They chose selectively, prioritizing peace. The climax unfolded at the wedding rehearsal. Chris's father arrived unexpectedly, pulling him aside. "I'm walking you down the aisle, if you'll have me." Emotion overwhelmed Chris, a full-circle moment. But drama struck. A cousin crashed, spewing vitriol. Security escorted her out, but the incident underscored ongoing hate. Jamie comforted, "We've overcome worse." The wedding day dawned bright, vows exchanged amid cheers. "In a world that tried to tear us apart, we chose each other," Chris said. Jamie echoed, "Our love defies odds." Honeymoon in Hawaii brought respite, but reality beckoned. Adoption approval pending, careers evolving. Months later, as parents to a foster child, challenges persisted. School bullying, legal hurdles. Yet their family thrived, a testament to endurance. Reflecting on their journey, from hidden glances to open embraces, they pondered society's progress. In the end, after years of turmoil and triumph, Chris and Jamie stood as beacons, their love a catalyst for change. But one question lingers. Is true acceptance possible in a divided society? Or does love always demand sacrifice?